Good morning, everybody. It's right now. This is the Madison Molder we've been working on for half the summer. I finally got everything cleaned up around it. Electrician's supposed to be hopefully here next week to get this wired in. I'll go outside and show you the dust collection, but we finally got that up. The stand took a little while. I had to do some welding, which I haven't done since, oh my gosh, I want to say probably high school. So that was a little interesting. I should have taken some video of that, but trust me, it wasn't very eventful. We got everything all cleaned out. We went through and figured out what we had for spare parts, which was really kind of, I'll show you some of the spare parts. I didn't even realize we had so many. So we will end up going through and inventorying all the spare parts that we had, and that will help me figure out what I actually need or don't need. And it looks like we have all the parts for the machine, which is really good because I was getting kind of nervous because this machine is older. The company still makes parts for it, but they are very, very expensive. Like, it would almost be to the point that I'd be better off buying a whole other machine for parts, which is something I'm considering probably doing to keep this one up and running, because I really, really love these old Madison Molders because they are so reliable, and they really, really are awesome workhorses. So hopefully next week the electrician will come and we will get that all taken care of. And then it's just going to be hanging a spider, which is a huge project because I have not been able to get out there and find the dust collecting pipe yet that we need. I do have it. I just not sure where we put it in one of the 3 buildings we have on the property. So we're gonna have to dig that out, and then that will be put up there, and then we're gonna come through a hole in that wall next to that blue box. And then with that dust collection, I'm not sure if I can hang it on the ceiling because I don't have enough. I gotta double up all those 2x8s that are up there, and I was hoping to get that done this summer, but I don't think we're getting into it. It's getting too late in the year. So I got some stands that we had welded up to put the weight, because that dust collection is really, really heavy. And I'm hopefully you can hear me because my dad is standing in the other room. So, but then we can pick that up, and then we should be able to pick up the planer and the gang rip and finally get our dust outside and not in baggers, so we don't have that labor of cleanup all the time. This next week, I'm planning on actually getting the wire brushes out and getting this all cleaned up and oiled and working on the feed chain. I see that the feed chain is extremely loose, so I have to tighten that up. So, and take off all these hoods, get rings put on the hoods, kind of like that back hood has rings on it. I might just use the ones, I don't know. I have a couple Molder hoods that we had bought out of that last parts lot, so maybe I'll luck out and I'll find a whole batch of rings on it like that, and I'll use those hoods instead. And I will be recording me cleaning up and getting the machine up and running once I know the electrician has it wired in for me, so I make sure everything actually works, because otherwise I'll have to figure out my next step if something doesn't work. Good afternoon, folks. It's been a while since I've done a video. I've been really busy with a couple different things. School starts in a couple days, so I've been really busy working on my classroom, getting that all arranged. We had a little bit of problems with one of our big forklifts, trying to figure that issue out. So I've been really busy on a lot of little projects. So I finally got this area all cleaned up. Everything's gone around the Madison Molder, and I'm about to start cleaning it up. This is a 276 Madison Molder. I don't know if you can see it right down there. There's a tag for it. See here if I zoom in. Right there. This, like I said, I bought it a couple years ago, put it in the shed. We finally getting to the point where we can get some dust collection up here in the ceiling and get it to the point that we can get it running. I was planning on getting the electrician here, I don't know, a couple weeks ago already, but I just got busy with other projects. Now, this one's a little bit interesting as a 276 Madison Molder, because I bought it out of an old window plant that I used to work at back when I was a young man. This has the variable speed drive, which is really nice because a lot of them don't have that. And you have to actually go in the back if it's working. and take this big cover off, and then you adjust it with a rod. But I don't see a rod out here, a big handle. So I don't think I have to do that with this one, which is nice. A couple things I've noticed is that this is a feed chain, top feed chain, which is really rare. Most molders have two serrated like metal wheels that they push the boards through. And this one, the chain is like really, really loose. So I'm pretty sure that I have to tighten this and tighten that chain up. I also noticed that the oilers are missing, which I took those off because they were broken. So I have to order new oilers, but they're very expensive. I want to see when I priced them, they were like $100 an oiler or $75 an oiler. So I have to order 2 of those for her. We also noticed, the other thing that took a long time is we were going through parts boxes, because I did buy an extra Madison from parts, and I have an extra Madison in my back shed, because when times were good and auctions were cheap, I way overbought. But I guess it is what it is. So, but this one's missing its chip breaker, which we were lucky to find in the boxes right down there. The chip breaker is for it, so that's good news. The other thing is that it's really, really dirty. This is called pine pitch. All these little chunks here that are all over. When I worked at the window plant, we were forced to spray our molders down with a diesel fuel oil mixture to stop this from building up. I don't know why people didn't do that, but it's pretty dirty. So we're gonna have to take and probably chip away a lot of that pine pitch and get rid of that. In fact, this is my daughter Natalie, and she's working on getting some of the pine pitch out of the top hood. They got to send this in to get it welded somewhere, and this pine pitch is in there, and if you try to weld that, it'll just basically start on fire. So she's chipping away at that, doing a really good job. She's getting it done. So, whoa, trying to break parts already, eh? Just kidding. So that's one thing. The other thing I noticed in this molder is the back bed was missing. And like I said, thank God I had bought in a parts lot off another guy at the auction a couple years back, and I found another back bed for it. I'm missing the bolts, but like I said, there are so many parts in this box behind me that most likely the bolts are in there. So, or just go to the hardware store and get some. So it's not a huge deal. The only thing that's really weird about this Madison, like I said, I worked at the window plant, and I think we had 20 of these in the shop back when I worked at the window plant. Oh, that's zooming in. I'm trying to get this out. I noticed something that's really bizarre on this one. It has, normal Madisons just have 4 heads. So you're gonna have a top, your 2 sides, and then you're gonna have the bottom one, okay? Well, sometimes from the company, they would add a 5th saw blade mount, which this is original, that's from the company. I've seen those before. This is not. This, somebody added on, the window plant added on, for doing a horizontal saw, it looks like. I am really, really, really tempted just to remove this. I mean, obviously I'd keep it just in case something would ever change in the future, but I'm really, really debating on just taking it off. A couple things, it's really in the way of the bottom back head here, and I don't know why I would ever need to put a horizontal line in a piece of wood, because I would just have the tooling made with the line if I really needed to. So I'm really debating on just disconnecting the wires here, taking these couple bolts off, take a chain and the little forklift, and just making sure she doesn't fall, and put her in a box and semi-trailer for a later date, just in case we ever needed it for whatever reason. So we're gonna have lots and lots of cleaning to do. Let's see here. Okay, I'm recording this time, I know it. Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's watching the videos, I appreciate it. I just want to do the update on our big old Madison Molder project that I've been trying to work on this year. We got pretty far on it. We got a lot of it cleaned up. My son and his friend came and helped me, and we took let me just pan out a little bit here. We took a drill with a wire brush tip on it. We got most of the pine pitch, a lot of the rust cleaned off it. We did really good. Most of it wasn't too bad, a lot of little oil and grease, but we got everything all taken apart. Make sure it all moves now, locking handles, all the different stuff that's supposed to move. We got it loosened up somewhat so it moves. The school redid a couple parts for me. This part wasn't adjusting correctly, so I'd have them open that up a little bit. but we did get the back bed on, which thank gosh we did have. I can't even imagine trying to source one of those anymore. I ended up taking that 6th head off and putting that in the semi-trailer for just in case in the future. That opened up a lot of space, made it a lot easier for us to work on the machine. It was a mess. I should have recorded it because it took us a lot longer with the forklift and chains to get it picked up with the low ceilings in here and stuff like that. So it was not fun to get it off, but we did get it off. And thank God we used the forklift because it weighed probably a good 100 and some pounds anyway. So there's no way we could have probably picked it up with just our actual hands between me and my son. So we got that off. The only problems I've ran into so far is this chip breaker. We needed a bolt for it. I have somebody sourcing me one, or actually they're making one for me right now. So I don't know when we're gonna get that back, probably not another month. So that's what's wrong with this chip breaker, but otherwise it seems like we have it all here. We just have to wait for that bolt, because that bolt goes in here and then there's a thread of rod that adjusts it up and down, which I also have somebody making me one of those right now. So I don't know if we'll probably get it on this year, but I know we're not gonna get this machine running. I still have one major problem I found out though. As we tore into this, I was wondering, there's a huge gap. Oh, let me zoom in here. There's a huge gap between this front feed wheel and this upper chain. Now this chain came off a different molder, but I was pretty under the impression they're all universal. So I need to get somebody with more expertise than me in here to explain why there's such a gap in this one. It's like I'm missing a spacer or something. So I can't run the molder until that problem's solved. And then the other big problem that I ran into, which I didn't know about, is if you look right there, there's an oiler disconnected right there. And I thought, easy peasy lemon squeezy. We'll connect that line up and no big deal, right? Except the line is missing. It only goes so far and it broke off. So that's when I traced it. When I traced it, but I figured out that one of these actual oilers up here is missing. It wasn't missing, I had it, but it was, the spring was broken on it. So it didn't actually close to keep dust out, so you don't get dust, sawdust in your oil. Well, it turned out once I took it out, it actually had no wires or nothing. I mean, it wasn't hooked to anything in this gearbox. So I got a little bit of a problem to figure that out. I have a friend that said maybe he can come in the summer, help me get that figured out for next year. So I don't think she's running this winter because it's not looking good. But like I said, we got it a lot cleaned up, which is good. We put a lot of parts on it. We found everything I thought I was missing. You know, the front feed table, got that on. So it's a lot funny. Once you put all, oh, now I'm going all Florida here. Sorry guys. Once you put all the parts on, this machine just starts to grow and make it larger and larger. So she looks a lot larger now with the back bed on and this front feed table extension on. We got the front automatic feeder to actually kind of work now and slide in and out so you can actually grab your lumber. So we got that in properly. So like I said, we did get a lot of headway. I just got 2 major problems I have to solve, or 3 yet, before I can actually get her to run. The other thing I noticed, I don't know if I mentioned in the last video or not, because I was so excited to finally just get to working on this puppy. Because like I said, I've always wanted to get this one running, is I noticed that all my spindles are smooth on my tooling, and that kind of has me nervous, because normally when you're using compression heads, there's a slot here, and you slide the little slot in the head, and you lock it down, and that stops the tooling from spinning. I don't know. This molder might be set up for hydrolock heads, which is what I have a feeling it's set up for, which has me really nervous. Is I don't know if I can use my compression tooling on this molder or not, which I have 20, 30 heads for compression, but I have no hydrolock heads. But you know what? I have to kind of try it, so I'll have to just put a compression head on, run the machine, and I guess just keep my eye on it, because one of the fears is if you have a compression head or a hydrohawk head that spins on these shafts, because of the friction, how fast they're spinning, it'll actually melt and seize onto that shaft of the motor, which then we have a whole nother problem, which I can't even imagine trying to fix that problem. So, like I said, so we did get quite a ways with it. Not as much as I would have loved to do this year, but it's definitely a step forward. So I know that in the next couple of weeks, I'm working on a huge dip tank project for some of our wooden toys, because we did build probably about 100 of them right now. Or yeah, around 100 of them we got built and finished. So they have to go to the finishing room now. Some are going to go for colors because they had a little bit of like staining defects, or they had a little bit of wood stain to them. And other ones we're just going to end up dipping. I have some funny videos of our dog chasing a chicken that I'll be putting on the YouTube channel, because this is a little weird and goofy. And like I said, I do appreciate everybody watching them, and if you have comments, I do like reading them, because some people do leave them, which is really nice. So there's the big 276 Madison Molder project, going to be on hold till the spring, because I still got to get the dust piping up, and I got to get somebody with more expertise than I to help me with this front chain and that oiler problem. Hello everyone, this is Francis from American Toy and Furniture. I'm sorry it's been a long time since I've done any kind of update videos or anything, but this summer's been kind of all over the place. I had lots of original goals and things I wanted to try to achieve this summer. Not doing as well as I was hoping, but we're slowly getting there. A couple things we finally kind of got done, or almost done, is we did get dust collecting pipe up over to the Madison Molder, which has its own set of problems, why that we haven't been working on that as much. And so that run is pretty much done. We just have to wait for my friend Rai to come and weld up the different piping and stuff like that, because I am not a welder. It's not something that I'm actually good at. So I'm just waiting for him to get over here and help me get that. We did get it wired in about 2 months ago, so it actually does run. But once we started tearing it down and cleaning it up, we ran into another problem that really kind of put us on hold too, is that this molder is built with hydrolock heads. So that if you look in here, there's no keyed shaft. This one has a keyed shaft. Well, of course, all the tooling I own for this machine is all keyed tooling. So I called around, I found a couple pieces that used hydrolocks, but they are very expensive. I think brand new, they're like $2,000 a head is the quotes I'm getting. So my friend Rai has a guy who thinks he can cut the shafts into here, so we'll be able to use all the current tooling we have. So this project's kind of been on hold until we can get that problem solved. So that's where we're at on the molder. Like I said, I was hoping to have a lot of this stuff done by midsummer, but it has not been going as well as I was hoping. Plus, we had some other projects. We had a bathroom project for my father that we had to take care of, which a nice veterans group came in and they actually did most of the work. I was just kind of there to help, like be support and cut boards and stuff like that, and I really appreciate them. We'll have more about that later. But this is the Richardson I've been working on for the last couple months. Right now, we're just waiting for let's see here. Oh, right now, we're just waiting on the electrician, Verlin, my friend's dad. He does most of my electrical when it gets kind of complicated like this. I can run basic three-phase. This is a little bit out of my league in depth. So we got the panel up. We're just waiting for him to show up and hopefully wire this machine in. It was really rusty when I got it in here, so I've been spending a lot of time kind of cleaning all the rust off it. So I'm kind of excited to finally get this one running. We got all the tooling on it, get all the different heads. So it's been kind of a work in progress. I am having problems getting the blades off right now. Chucking heads I haven't attempted yet. Those are usually pretty easy. But like I said, the saw blades are kind of giving me a little hassle. I want to take all the tooling off, so when we try to dry run this machine, we know that it won't hurt anything. So kind of working on that. We did also have a little bit of a problem with the oil. This is a very old machine. This, I think, is from the 40s or 50s. The problem is the manuals I have was for a newer model than this. I think there's a number somewhere over here that actually told us what number this is. I don't know what exact year where this one was made, but it's been rebuilt once because it has newer motors put on it, I see, and stuff like that. So, but we don't know how much oil goes in the machine because I drained the oil box or tank. I don't know what you want to call this thing. And the newer ones have 6 gallons, it says in the manual. This one did not have 6 gallons in it. So I'm thinking it just has a smaller tank. So the new oil should be arriving next week. So we'll be putting new oil in. I bought one of those little mini cameras. I want to look inside the tank and see what kind of condition all the gears are and stuff. I think everything's fine, but she's slowly coming together. So I'm excited about getting this one running. The other project we've been working on pretty much is this dust collection out here. We put it up about a year or two ago, but now we finally got the piping. We're gonna run it over to that stairs, and then the semi-trailer should hopefully pull up alongside that, and we'll be able to blow our sawdust right in the semi-trailer. That's my plan. How this is gonna work, not really sure, because I've never done this before, so it's a lot of learning curve on my end. So we've been cleaning up outside, getting that taken care of. A lot of little small projects like that kind of going on. So it's been taking us a while to get this going. So we are slowly moving forward. It has been, like I said, a little bit slow, but we are working on it as fast as we can. Like I said, you have to apologize about the mess, because I will not lie. It seems like when you're working on a big old machine like this, it takes a lot more tools than I think a human being realizes. So you have stuff pulled out all over the place. I did also find some uses for 3D printing for my wood shop, which is pretty cool. So once we get the machine up and running, I'll show you. I 3D printed some off-take parts, because these conveyors here are supposed to go behind the machine, and then there's a conveyor over by the power panel way over in the corner there, and that's going to bring the parts back to the operators so they don't have to walk so much and they don't have to walk to the other side of the machine. I'm just waiting to get wheels welded to the base of that, and then we're going to put on a plug-in so I can slide it in and out for when I want to set up the machine and stuff, because it is a little bit of a bear to set up. From what like I said, I haven't set one up yet, so this is going to be very interesting to see how I do. A lot of learning curve. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to have some books for the newer models that this company Richardson made, but most of the instructions are probably pretty similar, but there's a little bit of differences too, being the older model machine I'm using. Other than that, like I said, I think everything's going as good as it can this summer. Like I said, I'm very happy that we're getting some progress done this summer. Not as much as I would like, but in the end of the day, it's one of those things where I guess I didn't work on this long to kind of give up. So I hope everybody's doing well. I am going to try some other videos too of some stuff some friends suggested, and I'll also be putting that on my YouTube. So thank you guys very much, and make sure you have a good week. Bye-bye. Want to turn the power on to the machine?
Yeah.